he's so good at it all. Like he's so good on social.
I know he's active on social because
he's just so plugged in.
I've been trying to find love for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And every time I think I find me a little diamond on Instagram.
I already know what you're gonna say.
We're on the
Not
gram.
many followers. I'm thinking this is the one.
Who in the
Easy,
lights?
money, sniper.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kicking It with me, D. This podcast is presented by Sleeper. We got my boy Brad Wing in the building. What's good, twin?
Hello, baby. How you feeling?
Feel amazing, bro. I feel amazing rocking mine. You feel me?
Yeah, it's a fucking terrible shirt you got on.
My boy went to LSU. I got the Bama shirt on purpose. This week, we got a special guest for y'all, man. We got Rich Kleiman in the building. Entrepreneur and business mogul. He's a longtime manager of Kevin Durant, co-founder of 35 Ventures and Boardroom. His portfolio includes the Brooklyn Aces, the pickleball team, Philly Union, the MLS team, Gotham SC, the NWSL team, Premier Lacrosse League, Athletes Unlimited, League One Volleyball, and more. And of course, since it's presented by Sleeper, I think it'd be adequate to say my dog is an investor in Sleeper too. What's good, Rich? How we doing? How we doing?
Good, fellas, man. I'm good.
Do it all, huh?
I'm
Mr.
good.
Do
That
it
does
all.
sound impressive. I'm a bit humbled by that intro,
You got,
bro.
a,
But
you, you got a lot on your repertoire, man.
I'm just running, man. I'm running, and I'm happy to be here, bro, with a New York Giant alum.
There we go. Absolutely.
Oh man.
Always.
Hey, man, first things first, I just want to get this off my chest, man. I know you're a busy man. I ain't mad at you at all, but we've had plans to hang out, link up, and this man been ducking me, bro.
You been ducking?
Bruh.
I knew you was gonna go there, bro.
I
knew
to,
you felt
first
that
thing
way. I knew
first.
you felt that way, and I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
You
But
just
that's why-
read the intro. He's a busy man. dude.
Shit.
I get it. I'm
No
not mad at
excuse,
you.
though. No excuse. I
We
shouldn't have done that.
both busy. I remember he had a party out here in Scottsdale. So I was like, all right, bet. We finna link up with my dog, pull up on him. He told me about the party like the week before. So I'm like, all right, cool, pull up.
That's an important key to the story because it was about 3 or 4 weeks before.
He told me well before.
Yes.
So then he's saying, all right, the party's 9 p.m., pull up. 8:45, I text him. I'm like, yo, Rich, I'm about to pull up, man. Where we at? He hit me back like, shit, man, I'm still in New York. I ain't even come out.
Yeah, but you know what? So in my defense, right when I got that text, I was like, fuck. I definitely didn't cover every basis. I thought I covered every basis on this trip.
Got one.
But what happened was, like, I thought, like, maybe I would have got the day before. Like, we still good for the party. One of them joints. You know what I'm saying? 15 minutes
That's
before.
crazy. Yeah, 4
Hey,
weeks
man,
and then 15 minutes
yeah,
before is like
right?
a big window, bro.
I didn't
Thank
know.
you, Brad.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
got
bro.
I'd take the fall on it too. Again, I'm not mad at you. I know you're a businessman. I know you got a lot of things going on. How do you kind of balance that? Because I know you do. We just had a whole 5-minute reading of all your accolades. So.
Yeah. Well, 2 things. First of all, I balanced it much better than I did with that trip to Arizona. So my
I ain't gonna
apologies.
ever let him live it down.
And I guess the other thing that you should add there is I'm married for over 20 years and I have 2 daughters.
That's amazing.
15 and 11. So
Amazing.
it's balancing trying to be as present as humanly possible for them, but also them understanding that, like, this is what I love to do.
Yeah.
This is my passion. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way about football and about what you're doing now. It's a blessing when you can do professionally what it is you love because you can't differentiate the time. Like my mind is always thinking about the things
Always
that I
going,
love.
always
so
going.
I feel like I balance my time well. I don't feel run down. I don't feel like I don't get enough time for myself, for my family. But I think it's also because what I don't fit in there are like other passions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll get active and I'll
Right.
compete a bit in whatever sport I'm playing, but I don't have like a regimen. So it's just like work, family, work, family, work, family.
Do you get a lot of sleep at night? Because I know people that are on the go a lot and work a lot. Sleep is like the number one thing they're missing in life.
Yeah, I mean, at points in my career, sleep was like, I was deprived. Like when I was in the music business, I was feeling it. Plus I was drinking more and like part of my like earlier work in the world, I was out in the mix like all the time.
Oh, man.
But like, you know, I'm still out and I still move around, but I'm not out real late. So if I'm asleep by, let's say, 12 or 1 on an average night, I only need 6 hours. And to me, like 6.5 hours, I'm good. Very rarely am I getting one of those, like, when you look at the clock and you like got 30 minutes or like you're on the road and you get home at 3 a.m. and the flight's at 6.
Might as well not even sleep at that point.
Nah, but I used to really only need 3. I really felt like I only needed 3. Now I'm like 6. Like I know if I don't get 6, but I feel good. I feel younger than I've ever felt, to be honest. I'm 47. I feel younger. I feel like I look younger. And I also think that's like, something I didn't realize when I was younger, but that's like real joy, no matter what is happening in the world, real joy, which I feel right now, can make you feel young, can make you feel young.
For sure. Yeah.
That's amazing. I know you're a big mogul in the business space, in the sports space. We mentioned you represent KD. I live in Arizona now, so I call myself a self-proclaimed Suns fan. Media day just happened. How are you feeling about the team going into the season? Anything to look forward to? You know, they always come close.
Yeah.
But just fall a little bit short.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think like what you see right now in the NBA that's working is continuity. I think there was a period of time in the league where you saw these teams turning over every year, and it was like chess pieces.
Yeah.
People were always trying to better their team and
Super teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't win the championship, it was like, what's wrong? But then you see Denver and Minnesota and Oklahoma City, and obviously Minnesota just made a move.
Yeah.
But the continuity in this league, I think, is being rewarded. And what I like about our chances is it's our second full year, the core of the team together. Kevin's been here now 2.5 years. Kevin and Devin had the Olympic experience this summer, which I think was incredible. And I think it's just like created even more of a connection for the two of them on court.
It
off
looked like
court.
they had fun. It looked like Anthony Edwards had fun there too with your boy a little bit.
Bro, Ant's a man. Ant's a special dude. But yeah, I feel good. But you know, this is Kevin's 18th year. I've been working with him 11 years.
Man.
So it's a lot of seasons, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just prepare yourself to go like, all right, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know
It's a
what I'm
long
saying?
time.
Yeah.
How'd you guys first meet? How'd that working relationship start?
I used to manage this artist Wale from DC.
Oh, yeah.
Get outta here, bro. He
Yeah.
used to be my favorite artist in college, bro.
For real?
Wale, hell yeah.
That was probably when I was managing.
Yeah. That was when he was with Maybach and all that.
Yeah. And even before then. He
He always had the fits, the shoes, everything.
yeah,
bro. He
phone
was
posits.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
always
yeah.
around with
He's
that
still,
shit.
bro.
Nike
He's still
boots.
fire. Yeah, he slept on a lot. Shout out Wale.
He actually's had an incredible career.
Oh, yeah.
For real. Shout out Wale, because sometimes you got to appreciate someone's run. And even though, like, at any given moment, maybe he wasn't the biggest artist, but if you look up now, and it's been
Longevity.
like
It's been a lot of
almost
years.
17 years, this
Yeah.
guy's been bumping.
And I think those guys around that time, like 2011, 2012, that was right before social media became what it is now. So I always have a little bit more respect to those
More
kind of
love,
guys
yeah.
because I think it's
Yeah.
a little harder without all the power of social media today.
TikTok.
Bro.
Get on
Yeah,
TikTok,
all
drop
that
one
kind of
song.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways
Yeah,
to kind
yeah.
of jack the system a little bit. But no, man, Wale,
Those were
that's
like,
a GOAT, bro.
Yeah, they called them the blog era.
Yeah.
Blog era guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Wale introduced me to KD because, I mean, you know when you have a sports fan like in your crew. So like he knew I was like a real sports fan and understood the game. And Wale and him knew each other from DC. So he told them, I'll get you with my man Rich. He was going to go to the Jay-Z show in New York. I was working for Rock Nation at the time, or I was just about to, but I'd already like produced Fade to Black, and I was cool with everybody. So I just took KD to the show.
That's amazing. That's amazing. See, I'm gonna selfishly ask a question because I'm trying to get into kind of the sports business landscape of things. I know a lot of NIL guys may need help doing certain things, so I want to get better. What was the pitch like to sign in KD? Like, what was that interaction like? You had to wine and dine them. Like, how does that work?
Nah, it wasn't like that at all. So when I met him, I was in the music business. So I wasn't even thinking about that. And then from 2007 till 2012, I just checked in with him every so often. You know, we just built up like a little bit of a friendship, not even that close. I'd run into him at events. He'd sometimes come to a Wale show. We did a commercial once that Kevin was on the set also. So I was like, got to hang with him and his crew at the time. But then when we started the agency at Rock Nation, it wasn't a pitch as much as like, this is what we're doing now. We plan on being disruptive with this agency. And I don't know where you're at in your career, but if you're at all thinking about something different for yourself, this will be something different. Now, when he came and sat with us, it got a bit more pitch-like, right? We had to really propose how the team was going to be set and what we envisioned and get to know everybody in his life. But I think the beauty of it is that we had built up a little bit of an equity in this relationship. And then obviously the allure of Hove was so big too. So it was like this combination of him trusting me and knowing that like it was a leap of faith, but it wasn't because it was Jay. Like he understood that what he may need, Jay could help him with, but also he was already KD. You know, it's different. If you're an artist and you're unsigned and you're trying to get on, you got to hope that where you go is actually going to make you better at your craft and get you in the right position. KD was already KD at this time, so it was really about finding the right home for him. And it's just relationships, and you know that.
About the trust.
That's what I was gonna say. It's about trust, bro.
Yeah.
As an athlete, like you get so many people coming and pulling you different ways, and so many things thrown at you. Kind of when I was listening to you talk, just about how over time you build that equity. That's everything.
Not
in
even
those
just
kind of
athletes, because in
relationships.
my business as well, like there's so many people left and right hit me. Oh, let's do this. We want to get you doing this, but if I don't know you or if I don't trust you, like the odds of it happening.
And if you're not jumping down their throat the first, like if it's the first time meeting someone and it's, hey man, I got
always
this,
pitch,
it's
hey, I
kinda
got this,
like,
I got that.
You've been pitched 30 times already that day, as opposed to it's probably just refreshing to see Rich, what's up, man, and keep it moving, and then be like, okay, you know.
It's funny. That's actually a good point, because one of the things that I've really learned as I've gotten older now, like I think when you're entrepreneurial and you're hungry, having patience doesn't go hand in hand with that, right?
yeah,
So
right.
you don't
Want
want
that
to
shit
tell any
now.
young person like, man, you got to have patience. You got to wait out this process. So but you know that they have to.
It's true.
So,
Yeah, you have to.
so it's like you don't want to turn it off, but at the same time, you have to understand that these things take time. So a lot of times when someone meets somebody or they get in the room with someone that they want to work with, that they envisioned working with, they want to give them everything that moment. They want to just go for it. And then you realize, like, wait, how does this person know this person? Oh, they've known each other 10 years.
Yeah.
Of course he gave him the deal.
Right.
So you start going, okay, I'm going to have to build a real relationship here. Then you figure out somehow to do business. But like very rarely are you going to be like, yo, D, this is my man from Pepsi. And you're like, yo, sign me. He's like, no problem, dog. You sign. Like that shit just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You got to build that rapport. And, you know, I think that was the beauty of like Kevin and my working relationship in the beginning was just like, all right, he at least knew the kind of person I was
Yeah.
and like the people that I was around. And that goes so far.
From the athlete side, you know, speaking from experience, that is priceless.
big,
Yeah, to know who you're dealing with. Because like I said, man, there's a lot of
Some agents,
horror stories out there,
you
bro,
barely hear
where-
from some of your agents too. They just,
I remember my rookie year at the Eagles, they would tell every rookie this story about David Akers, who's a kicker. So like, bro, kickers,
Relates-
specialists don't get money like everybody else. So we got to keep them a lot closer. Long story short, bro, bad investment deal, lost all his money, you know, and the FBI comes in and they investigate, and
damn,
the head security guy's sitting in the room when the FBI guy tells David Akers,
can't do
It's
nothing.
gone.
It's done.
It's
I
gone.
know, it's crazy.
You
That's
know?
the thing. It's
Damn.
the money managers are the ones that are scary.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's changed, by the way. It's changed
Yeah, yeah.
drastically, but at one point it was that. It was like, all right, this guy, you know, kicked a good game.
Yeah.
He pulled up in a fancy car. He said he's going to make sure I'm good, send him all my money, and then you figure out like, damn, who is this motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Like,
know
who did I
him.
just send my
Yeah.
money to?
Yep.
But it's changed. It's changed. And the level of understanding and knowledge that
A lot more due
athletes
diligence now,
have.
too,
Like
yeah.
the young men and women in sports are so aware. They're so educated at such a young age. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the NBA culture or WNBA culture. They just know. They've seen it. They have the access. So, you know, you don't see as much of that anymore.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your upbringing. I know you were born in New York, raised in New York. Obviously, you're doing a lot of great things now, but what was your upbringing like? How did
Yeah.
you know this is what I want to do and I'm going to do that shit?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the city, and I had the fortune of like being around what was like becoming hip hop culture in New York. I was a diehard Knicks fan and just like couldn't get enough of the sports world in general. And I love being around people. I was always popular. I was always connected and networking and trying to meet new people and be in different rooms and figure out who's at that party, who's at that party. I did not focus in school. I did not take school seriously. I had a really like chaotic household growing up. My parents had a horrible divorce. So I really didn't pay any attention in school. Like I just didn't, and somehow skated through. Went to college, and I didn't even make it a semester. Like if I couldn't pay attention in high school, like focus, there was no way to do it. But what happened was like somehow that entrepreneurial gene was always in me. Like when I was a kid, I was always outside my building selling shit. I was
Selling,
always
yeah.
trying to
Selling
be in the
lemonade on
mix.
the
I was
corner
doing
and shit.
everything from a really young age. And I always really admired people that were working. Like I just didn't want to go to school. So as I was on the bus on the way to school, I'd see people going into their office building and be like, man, I just can't wait till I can work. Like I just want to work. Went to college and ended up becoming a bookie. And it wasn't obviously like my plan, but I knew numbers and I understood gambling and I understood like the culture of it. And everyone in college was gambling. All these kids just wanted to gamble. And like I quickly put like 2 and 2 together and I was like, they don't have a real bookie. You know, like they really don't. So I stepped in, and next thing I know, I'd been in Boston for 2 years running a book. And like, loved it. I had 100 clients or so. I had people at Michigan and Wisconsin sending in their bets, and I was collecting on the weekends with some security guards at the clubs in Boston. But I got that itch. Like I realized, like, oh, I'm good at this shit. Like I can bring people together. I can make some money. But I also at that point was like, all right, let me get back to New York. Like if I'm gonna do this, let me do it in New York. I went back to New York, tried to run the book for like a month. That shit got shaken all the way down. And then I just started my journey. That hustle was like, I couldn't turn it off at that point.
I feel like I was just about to bring that up. As somebody that's not from New York, having lived there, it's just like born into y'all.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that hustle mentality, a lot of people I met in New York, definitely more so than any other place in this country, it's almost like it's a part of you.
Yeah.
You know, can you talk about it a little bit about that? Is it the city that gives it that? What is it, the competitive like hustle that just almost seems to be in everybody that's from New York?
It's definitely very true. You're spot on. I think it has like the speed of the city and the energy of the city is one thing. Two, you see the wealth gap like right smack in front of you.
That's
so
a really
you can
good
be on Central Park West and 84th Street when I was growing up. And it's the most beautiful neighborhood in New York City. You can walk 2 blocks down to 84th Street to Amsterdam, which was the Amsterdam Projects, and it was a movie.
Yeah.
It was a jungle when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Up 100 yards away,
Yeah, so like you just understood it. And then also like you're at the center of it all. So you see it all. You see this greatness. You see the stores on Madison Avenue. You see what like the clubs and the dope people walking in the clubs look like. You know that these artists that are making money, these rappers that are coming up, you're driving around the city and, oh shit, look at that white Benz. Like, yo, I heard that was so-and-so in there. You just felt it.
And it makes it seem attainable. If they can do it,
Yeah.
why can't I do it?
100%. And then also like, it's generational. So then you grow up in a house where like all I heard, everyone was just bitching about money.
Yeah.
You know, it's some places in the world, like it's just not built around that. So it's not part of the dialogue.
Yeah.
But like, think about it. Like your parents get divorced at a young age. They hate each other. They scream at each other. And what do you hear about? Money. So I'm like, I got to get my own money.
I gotta get a lot of it.
I got to get my own money because this is crazy.
Man, how have you grown in entrepreneurship? Obviously, you started early, hustling on the street and doing things like that. How would you say your entrepreneurship has grown? How has it evolved? Have you gotten better? I mean, obviously, but
well, I think like, you know, just now am I able to answer those questions? I don't know if you guys ever feel this way, but like you don't even know how old you are. Like you know your age, but you feel what you feel. So like if you still feel 21, you in your mind you act in 21 at times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for me, I think it's like when I was younger, I had no idea. I really didn't. You know, the lack of education and the lack of a mentor or a real role model ended up actually having some impact on me because you do need the foundation of information. You do need experience. And if I didn't go to school and I didn't have anybody really showing me the way, it was just what I was watching.
yeah.
So whatever I watched, I wanted to figure out a way to get there. So I had an innate ability to talk to people and to network and to like get in the room, but I didn't understand what the hell was real. Like the things I was asking of a situation or wanted from a situation were naive. Yeah. So what I've gotten better at is understanding who I am, like knowing exactly who I am. And that means that there's a lot in front of me that I still want to do, and people, thousands and thousands of people, way more successful. But I also know what I've accomplished. And when you like know who you are and exactly what the reality is, it's just a different power. Now, I think if you know that when you're younger, that may hurt you. Because if you know that when you're younger, it may keep you from doing what you're supposed to do to figure it out.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, if I act crazy and impatient and expect wild shit, people are looking at me now like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
So I think it's just the information I got now that has made me a different type of entrepreneur.
Was there a time when you was like, damn, I've made it? Did you know you made it, or you still got that hunger?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. I still got that hunger. I still don't really
in the
feel
blood.
that
It's
way.
New York.
Yeah,
I
I
New
don't.
York state of mind.
I don't feel that way at all. I will say though that like, even though I'm still in the early days of building Boardroom, not asking for help from anyone, not raising money, and just me and KD trying to build this brand from scratch. What I have been proud of is like the growth every year. Just being able to be like, God damn it, like it's different when you just build something from scratch. When you just decide like, I'm gonna call my company this, I'm gonna make people fuck with it. And I think there were times where like I'm in the locker room with KD after they win the championship that as like a sports fan, I'm like, what the fuck?
crazy.
Like, how am I sitting here? And
Yeah.
there's rooms that I've been in.
Yeah.
There's rooms I've been in and sat with people and experiences I've had where I've been like, what am I doing? Like
You
if I
probably
had
seen
ever
so much life.
Yeah, like if I had ever known I was gonna be here and do this shit, like my God. But not monetarily or like business wise. I still feel always like I'm like gotta prove myself, you know.
I feel like, yeah, as an entrepreneur, monetarily or business wise, there's never like, all right, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
I feel like once you get that feeling, you're cooked. It's,
Yeah.
it's
On to
over
the
for
next.
you.
Without question.
Yeah.
I think there's like the first threshold of like, do I not have to stress money?
Yeah, there
You
we
know
go.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And, you know, I definitely acknowledge that shift in my life where I was like not just looking at credit card bills and stressing how I'm going to get it paid at the end of the month. That once that went away, it was almost like, all right.
At
like,
what age did you feel that way? I like asking these type of questions because as a 27-year-old about to be 28, I'm always curious. Like I see people in positions like yourself, and obviously it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I want that for myself one day. So I always like to ask people like where they was at.
Yeah,
close to
no,
my
I feel you.
age.
I didn't really, honestly, not way less, like probably only like a decade ago because,
Wow.
you know, maybe a little longer because everything I made, I just kept investing
Yeah,
in myself.
reinvesting.
So I didn't really give myself a level of comfort. And I wish I probably had been more mindful of that, but it was this feeling of like, I have to keep being in rooms that I succeed in. I have to keep investing in this trajectory for myself because without the information, especially, my value was never missing it. You know what I'm saying? And never not being there and making sure that I had visibility into everything and everyone that was around the world in which I wanted to be in. You weren't going to be like, no, Rich was stayed in tonight. Like he's not going to make it to this event or he's not going to fly out for these awards. So I just kept doing it. I just kept putting the money in. And because of that, like I was living beyond my means. But in my mind, I always just said to myself, like, this is my investment in
You're
myself.
investing in yourself.
You know, and then all of a sudden when you start having kids, you like, all right, well, let me not make this all about
Doing it for
investing in
somebody else
myself.
now,
So
yeah.
around that time, so I guess maybe 15 years ago when I first had my first kid. But I remember even my first kid, I just remember thinking like, I got to work so fucking hard.
yeah.
I got to work so fucking hard.
It's like with me, anytime I make like a semi-big purchase, like instantly I'm like, damn, this shit's cool, but I got to get back to it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I got to grind. Hey, y'all, real quick, let me tell y'all about Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. Celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users. Get the fastest scores, blazing fast news, and alerts right at your fingertips. Playing fantasy leagues, win real money on picks contests. Just make sure y'all enjoy sports the way they were meant to be, which is together. Download Sleeper, the #1 sports app. And now let's get back to Rich and his podcast. Talk to us a little bit about Boardroom. I know some of the viewers may not know exactly what Boardroom is, so if you could enlighten us and let us know a little bit about Boardroom.
Yeah, I love brand. Like growing up in the 90s, like that was my like prime. I was like watching these brands in the music industry like Death Row and Rockefeller and No Limit. And it was so cool because they were able to create a brand at the center. They would sell you clothing, they'd sell alcohol, parties, music,
lifestyle.
movies. And you almost just wanted to be down. So I always had this like aspiration of building a brand. When I was really like starting in like my professional life, one of the first things I did was join this team of trying to launch this like hip hop website called onelevel.com. And it was at a time where it was all pretty pioneer. And the idea was similar to what Boardroom is, was that there was this intersection of sports and music and entertainment and business, and where it all intersected, there was a conversation and people were compelled by it. Yeah. It was way more niche back then, and I didn't know anything. The company raised some money and went under. And then I looked at my life and realized I just then went and lived it all, right? I like managed artists and DJs. I worked on some film and TV. I worked for Rock Nation for a while, went on my own. But that desire to have my own brand and to build something was still there. So when Kevin and I went on our own in like 2016, we started investing. We started really being active in Silicon Valley. We would do a film here and there, a TV show here and there, and working on Kevin's Nike business. And I remember thinking like I could be so much more impactful for what I'm working on if I had my own storytelling vehicle, my own brand that embodied that. My first instinct was to go to ESPN and be like, yo, let's go partners on this idea. It's called Boardroom. It's this world that people don't really know about, where like artists and producers and executives and CEOs and founders can be in this theoretical boardroom. They could be wearing sweats. It's all walks of life, and it's different than you imagine. And young people eat this up. ESPN gave me 2 seasons of a show. Nice. I did the show, and then pandemic hit, and they were like, we're not going to pick up a 3rd season. And at this point, we had done a great job marketing what this thing was. We got great visibility via ESPN, but we own the brand. So at that point, I just launched it, and it was like, let's just go for it. And every few months, we just add a new layer. And then I look up now, we have this like full media brand, which is the digital media property. We have our events and our conferences. We have, you know, a ton of parties throughout the like flagship calendar of music and sport. Next year, I'll launch membership. And, you know, I really see it as like the new Forbes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I kind of spin it is, well, spin's the wrong word. That's how I frame it, because for me, it's like Forbes meant something to people. It's aspirational. It means something fresh. When you see the Forbes list, it's just a list. Forbes didn't really come up with the information. It's just listing the shit. But that's what was about the brand and the name. So for me, like, that's what we're building. And, you know, we have content that goes out every day, newsletter, short form video. We have a digital magazine. We have a big sports conference that we host with CNBC in Santa Monica once a year. Brands are investing into the platform, working with talent, all levels. And it's just exciting. Like, I'm really into what we've built, and the audience is growing. The demand is growing. So boardroom.tv is where everything lives, and you know, you'll see everything we're working on. Yes,
sir. I know you and KD are partners on that venture, right?
Yeah.
Is he very involved? Like, I don't expect him to be sitting on meetings and calls and stuff. What's like his role in the whole operation?
He's very involved.
Really?
To be honest, like, so we have 2 companies. We have 35V, which is Kevin's family office, and within the family office is like his Nike business, his investment portfolio. We have a sports investment portfolio called Boardroom Sports Holdings that's under there. And his foundation, which is in Prince George's County, Maryland. That's like a major focus of everything we do. And then we have Boardroom. So I manage the family office, and I'm his, you know, longtime agent and manager in that whole business of his personal business that's there for his great grandkids. And then we're partners in Boardroom. And there's obviously a flywheel between the two, and there's very symbiotic how they work together. But, you know, I'm the type of partner where, like, even if he didn't want to know, he's going to know. Like, I tell him everything, and I know how to ask him for his opinion on the things that are important. I know how to give him his space. I know the things that'll work for us, and we're just fortunate that we have this, you know, understanding in this partnership. It won't work for anyone and everyone, you know what I'm saying? So it works for us. And there's times where, like, he leans all the way in, especially if it's something that's like about him or involving him. But there's also an incredible trust, you know? So it just works. But he surprises people with how much he understands about every single aspect of our business. He really is plugged in. You know what I'm saying? He clearly does not sleep with a basketball and like only talk and think about basketball. But it's the idea that that's what's most important to him. It's what centers him. It's what's carried him through life. It's what he uses to not only distract him from things he doesn't want to think about or deal with, but it's been something that's brought him all over the world. So it's like, it's always about the work. I mean, and you guys are athletes. You get, like, he always will talk about the work. Like, you don't underestimate the work that I put in. Like, he'll always, like, it's about the work. You know, we're working on this project right now, and he the other day was like, we're not talking about like my basketball enough. And I was like, well, that's in everything. He's like, no, my craft, like the mastering of my craft. So, you know, I think it's like, it is always on his mind.
How have you seen KD grow over the years? Because obviously you started with him early. You've been his business partner, agent, and everything. And I feel like he's so misunderstood that you'd really be one of the only few people that notice. How have you seen him change and mature and, you know, get better over the years?
I think he's just like, stop trying to like appease everybody. You know, like, I think that didn't always work.
That freedom.
And just, I think he's got an incredible perspective. He always did, but I think he just stopped trying to like be who he thought he needed to be for the certain situation or person. Because when you do that, it doesn't work. Look, he was trying that and it didn't work. People were hating on him for decisions that he made, that he was doing for himself. And
that's what I was going to say. Did you notice the point in time where you saw that change in him, or was it kind of just gradual?
Did anything happen that caused it? I don't know.
I think, you know, it was, I think after we left the Bay, I think I noticed like even more of a, you know what, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. I just got to focus on myself. But also like these athletes aren't any different than, like, you guys are not different than me in how we grow up. Like
Right.
you guys have your own experiences as athletes, but you still have to go through those stages of your life where you just like, we all had to go through those stages in our life where you just like go, oh shit, you wake up one day and go, man, that don't even matter.
Right.
It just doesn't matter. Like, and when you do that, it's actually a bit of a mind fuck at some points because you're like, I stressed the shit out of this forever and it doesn't matter. But it's also, like you said, it's freedom. It's powerful because then you start like minimizing the things that you do care about, and it's way less stressful. And I think he also, you know, it's just like getting older and has lived so much life and been through so much shit, and he's just got an incredible perspective. And the funny thing though is he never cared as much as people thought he cared.
What's your thoughts on, because obviously you work with KD and you talk about the freedom, the peace of mind, and not giving a fuck. What's your thought on athletes' identity around being straight business, very media trained, or being online, speaking a mind? Like, we see videos.
You a big fan of burner accounts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
They're smart, right?
Yeah, I think, man, I've never had, I have never even like thought about having a burner account. Like, I just don't operate in that.
They say KD got a couple of them out there.
They say
I'm
KD
sure
be on
he
there
does.
tweeting.
Bro, honestly, he's so good at it all. Like he's so good on social.
I know he's active on social because
He's just so plugged in.
I've been trying to find love for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And every time I think I find me a little diamond on
I already
Instagram,
know what you're gonna say.
We're on the
not
gram.
many followers, I'm thinking this is the one.
Who in the lights?
Easy money sniper. He shows up. Usually it's like clockwork. 3 to 4 weeks after I find her, and then I got to unfollow her.
Man, he's a man of the people.
Seems that
man
way.
of the people.
Seems that way, man.
I honestly, I think it's all great. Like, listen, this is the NBA is an industry. It's a business. It's entertainment, and it only exists because of how hard they work at their craft to get to that level. And I mean, I think as long as everybody is, you know, focused in on their work, like it should never take away from your work. But whatever approach you want to take to your career and your media personality or whatever, like, I don't care, honestly. And I think it's toxic at times, some of sports media's coverage. I think it's just like enough. Like, I was watching NFL coverage earlier today, and I will say, like, the NFL speaks about football at times at a higher level than basketball coverage talks about basketball. It gets way too gossipy and clickbaity.
I think it's helped having a lot of former players they're bringing in. Like, you're getting Tony Romo doing the games. You're getting
Brady
Pat McAfee
now,
on there, Brady.
Richard Sherman.
It gives you like more of an insight than just a guy that played
Talking
40
heads.
years ago. You know what I mean?
But NBA has that too. It's just that, like, you know, the stars in the NBA are such big stars. They're such big stars that it's like celebrity culture at its finest. Like the way they've just talked about the LeBrons and KD and Steph and these guys for so long. Like when KD was in Brooklyn, ESPN was really just KD, Kyrie all day long.
Why do you think that is? You think it's just the helmets in football? Because obviously we see these players are covered head to toe.
Yeah, they're definitely more
you don't really get
recognizable.
the
Well, they're also like these
53
they're
people on the
stars
roster,
too.
too.
Like for whatever reason, there are stars, like stars. Like you know when you see somebody in the NFL, right? So and you're like, oh, he's got it. He's a star. Like,
OBJ,
right?
Star.
And there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Very few. And a lot of it has to do with the helmet, the way the NFL operates, less games. There's many reasons, but there's only a few of them. In the NBA, it's so many.
One on every team.
There's just so many stars. There are people that are like, they have the charisma of like an artist. They have the swag of an artist.
Much more personable sport.
Yeah.
Like, we get to see them just run around talking shit. I will never forget the clip of Ant Edwards talking shit to KD, like, old ass nigga.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, like, I feel that. And it's so much more global as well. I feel like NFL guys are stars in America and a certain amount of countries that really watch football. Like, you gotta, you gotta really try and really watch the sport to know guys. But like NBA, you go to China, you go to all these other countries.
Yeah.
They're
It's
all over the
definitely more
place.
international for sure.
Yeah.
What about the Olympics? You were out there?
Incredible.
Yeah,
What
I
was
was
it
gonna say,
like, bro?
it
What
looked
was it
like
like?
it would have been fun
It
to
was
be out
incredible.
there, man.
It's just such a special experience. I mean, that those are the moments where you said, like, when do you like ever go like, wow, like I did this, or look what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just been the experiences for me. So like just being there,
Yeah.
and, like watching this team and knowing that, I was working with someone that was on the team, and then I was friends with so many people that were out there, and just like everything. Paris, the weather in Paris, the drama of the Serbia game, the French game in Paris, having Wemby and the France team play. It was
Them boys
just
was
incredible,
balling.
man.
Yeah, it seemed like just one of those moments, that maybe you look back on and be like,
Yeah,
that was
I already look back
Yeah,
on it
yeah.
like, wow. I went to Djokovic, Alcaraz final at Roland Garros for the Olympic gold. Like, these are moments that, like sporting moments that are like forever. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I just experienced it in a city like Paris. It's just incredible.
I wonder, because I have an 11-year-old son. You said your daughters are 11 and 15?
Yeah.
What's been cool for me is being able to share some of the things that I've been able to acquire in my journey, relationships, whatever, access to certain things, like sharing that with my son.
Yeah.
He's at the age right now, loves football. So it's really awesome for even with D, like all the kids,
sure,
Bentley, they
yeah.
fucking love D. So even being able to have Bentley meet him, D gave my son D's phone number, which I was like, that's a fucking mistake.
Yo,
that's a
what
mistake.
up? What's good?
That's good.
Has there been any moments like that you can think of with the girls where it's like, man, this is cool. I'm getting able to
Yeah.
share with them some stuff because of the work that I've been through. That's kind of a thing I think that is
Yeah,
really rewarding.
I think so. I mean, my daughters are like real New York kids.
Yeah.
I have one daughter who's like, nah, it's cool. I don't even need to do all that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Too cool.
I'll sit over here.
Yeah.
And I got one who, loves it, but isn't necessarily like a major sports fan. I think what's the coolest part of it is like well, first of all, there's things that they like to do that aren't within my world that I have the ability to help.
out. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. So like,
yeah.
I think that's incredible. And I think if anything that they've just started asking more now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But earlier on, when they were younger and they would come to Warrior games with me during the finals, I think it was this feeling of like, now I'm checking two boxes. Like, oh my God, I'm here at the finals. And then like, oh my
Got your
God, I'm
kids
here
here
with
too.
my
Yeah.
daughters. Like,
Knowing they're
that's
going to remember that
incredible.
forever. Yeah.
But look, I can't even pretend that I have like these two diehard sports fan
no.
daughters at home that are like, what did the Suns do?
Yeah,
Who'd they sign? I have like godsons and nephews that are like that.
Yeah.
But, that's why I think my daughters are so cool, because city kids are just like, they're like, all right,
I
cool.
saw that with my son a little bit. Like, obviously, from ever since he's been born, he's known like Odell Beckham and these kind of people. And it's funny watching him because like he didn't realize that was like
Yeah.
not a normal person, And it's been funny kind of like, because now he's like, I don't give a shit about Odell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but all of his friends do. So it's kind of funny watching them grow. And just, again, it's always nice for me to reflect on those things and be like, it's good I've been able to share that with him. All the experiences I went through, it's cool to be able to benefit him in some way.
Definitely.
But it's funny to watch.
I'm excited to when it comes to helping them, professionally or like whether it's helping them with like relationships that they're gonna need, because I do think that like it can't be instead of hard work or instead of drive or instead of like figuring it out. Part of life is just figuring it out, and nobody can really give you that plan. But I think it's cool to have something that's been so important to me, like my journey professionally. And I take so much pride in like where I had to come from to get here in terms of like knowing nobody in this world, nobody. That if I can give them that game, I think that'll be really rewarding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do your daughters, obviously they've been to like NBA finals and everything, but do they know like what you do? Do they understand what you do?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
They're smart. And I tell them, and listen, my wife has been on this journey with me. Like I was on Maybach tours and managing producers in the studio all night and telling her
Wifey
like, yo,
probably
we're
wasn't
going to
happy.
Vegas. Like, yo, we going to this.
Wifey probably wasn't happy.
Nah, we going to Glastonbury. Like the shit that we went and did. Like I think for her, I still move. Like I still move around, and she really doesn't move around like that. So like I think she, one hand really respects the grind and the hustle and sees it, and because of that, we talk about it a lot in the house.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's always like she shares in some of my joy and excitement, and it's cool when you could be out. It's like 1:30 in the morning, and you're like, yo, you call, and like it's not a stress. You're not getting that call like, where the hell are you? It's like, they ask me where I am, and I tell them what I'm working on when I'm out, and she's just like, that's fire. That's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that's cool, and then like my kids know it. My younger one especially, she had this idea that she wanted me to pitch the Sweet Green for a Boardroom bowl, which was going to be this like customized Boardroom bowl for lunchtime. And Sweet Green wasn't into it, but I was just like, yo, I love the way your head is at.
Do you see them going into like the family business or kind of picking up on what you do and getting involved with that, or not?
I could see, like, my older one is a G. Like she has a cool ass gene where like she's quick, she's witty, she's smart. My younger one is incredibly like personable and creative and wants to like design and create. I mean, if I could like paint a dream scenario, I'd say, yo, two of you should go into business together. I'm gonna build this brand up, and then like you'll take my share, and KD's kids will take his share. But I don't know. You know, they're still so young, man. They're still like stressing every test, every party. And it's so far from there.
You'll be dealing with boys here soon and stuff. You're gonna have to send some big NBA players over to.
That's the funny thing is like, you know, sometimes, you know, like you know when you meet like kids that are like fans of the sports world or like understand what you're building, you guys with your platform. You always, like, they give you energy talking to these kids. So like I think the boys in her grade are like cool as hell because
they're interested.
They're all into sports and they all love this world. And I'm like, hold on, can I talk to them? And she's looking at me across the room, and I'm like,
not that
all
one,
right,
Dad.
yeah. So you know, we'll see. I'll do my best to be cool, but not too cool.
Yeah, I know. I see a lot of like celebrities' daughters and kids. They be having them do the little TikToks and stuff like that. They got you on there dancing and stuff too.
No.
Not really.
No,
like, nah, hell nah.
Sir, not happening.
It might help the brand. You never know.
No, I mean, it's not that I have no problem doing it. I've definitely done it with them like here and there, but I'm not one of them like, I'm not seeking it. I did it during COVID a lot.
Yeah, I feel that. Hey man, real quick, do you think you know football? Turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, choose two or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code Kickin' and you'll get up to a $100 match on your very first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Now let's get back to this podcast with Rich. Obviously, you've had your ups and downs. You've built an amazing business portfolio. You've made money. You've helped people's lives. What has been the most rewarding part of this whole journey? Like, what do you lay down at night? You're like, wow, I'm grateful. I'm glad this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, just the length of time that Kevin and I have been working together in this business is rare, and I think that, you know, to just be growing and constantly growing over a decade, and to have like made that bet on each other, and then to know that like the relationship worked well and the business relationship is working well. I think it's more of that.
Still standing.
Yeah,
so that's hard to
Still
do,
rocking.
man. To still be here, you know.
Yeah, there's times where like we do different events or we throw certain parties where I do think it's fresh. And I'm like, man, we brought all these people out over and over again. Like just continuing to galvanize people for some of the things we do is cool. But I think it's just like being in it. Like it's hard for me again to even like look at any one thing and be like, that's it, because I still feel like I have so much that I should be doing. Like I'm constantly thinking about that.
Are you guys involved with like NIL and stuff at all? Or you don't really touch that landscape?
Nah, not really.
What are your thoughts
Just
on
not
the
interested,
NIL
or
stuff? You think about as far as what it's doing for the different sports? Is it what's it doing for these younger athletes and their development? Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, not any like organized thoughts. Like it's obviously very unregulated, which I think it was going to be. Like the flip side was they would have waited years trying to regulate it and figure out the right way to do it, and they needed to just let go, right? I think it's like different for different people, and sometimes the conversation gets confusing because for athletes that are playing volleyball or field hockey or gymnastics, that may not have a professional outlet ever that they're going to be able to make money from, for them to be able to use their platform and generate income while they're in college, and however much of a wild, wild west that it is, if they're able to do that and provide for themselves, like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
They deserve it. I think in basketball and football, these guys obviously deserve it as much as anyone with what they have done to them, right? The money that's made off their backs. However, it needs regulation because it's the same reason why before NIL, there was a lot of like unregulated behavior, and it just needs regulation.
Oh, under the table shit was going on everywhere.
I already know.
Yeah. But in general, like, I'm for it. I'm you know, I believe, I'm bullish on where it's headed. I just think it's got to be organized, and you know, I think like college football is its own animal. College basketball is its own animal. College football pays for college programs all over the country.
It's crazy.
So it's like, in some way, like, how could they not be able to operate as their own independent business? If Alabama raised money, it'd be worth $7-8 billion. They'd be a franchise like an NFL team. So I don't know, man. It's going to happen. It will happen.
I agree. It's a hard thing to kind of box, you know. I don't know the right answer, how they're going to do it. The only thing I see, and I'm just strictly talking about college football, is I come from, you know, I was at LSU in 2010, 11, 12, right? Les Miles was my head coach. Tommy Moffitt was my strength and conditioning coach. There was like a level of discipline that was just required. And I don't know if I see that same discipline now. And I don't know if it's because the kids can just fucking up and leave.
Jump in the transfer portal.
Like, if you're a coach and you're cussing me out, well,
I'm not happy.
I can just leave. Whereas that was never an option for us. And I'm not saying that happens everywhere, but I don't know if that's going to like affect some of these kids going forward, because I remember when I got to the NFL, some of the best feedback you receive is just based on the college you went to. You know what to expect because you've been to LSU, you've been to Alabama. They run these programs that are just like NFL programs. But if a kid has the ability to just be like, no, I'm going to go over here to do this, I don't know.
Yeah, the transfer portal's definitely even a different animal, because it is turning into this like...
Well, it's almost like pro. It's
There's guys that have been on like 5-4 teams, like in college. I don't get it.
Yeah, and teams are like not good one year, and the next year they just good.
But I think that's it. I think that's just a detriment to the athlete. Yeah. Like, if you know, I don't think you're gonna learn all the responsibility you need to learn trying to go to the NFL. I mean, you got to eat shit sometimes. Yeah. Like you said it too earlier about going through life. It's like that in sports too. You have to be at the bottom. Like nobody. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Tom Brady. Like, everybody has gone through the
but you have to, until it's regulated, it has to work like that. Because if you're sitting at a school and you're not getting your shot, like, that's compromising your future,
ability to earn.
So it's like,
it is. Again, I don't know the answer. It's a fucking shitty.
And you know what? That's the biggest reason why it's unregulated right now. No one knows the answer.
And I don't think they're going to be. It's like the playoff system in college football.
Now they're doing 12 temes now.
And I remember years ago when they were like, they're never going to be able to do 12 because the season's going to carry on too long. Watch here in 5 years, they'll be doing 24 teams. There's no answer to it because
March Madness of football.
Literally. Watch.
And they'll end up just having payrolls. These teams, you know what I'm saying? And
is that where you see it going? You're just going to have a payroll.
That's how it is.
Crazy,
it's an interesting time, especially for college sports, because
crazy.
we're like, it is a massive shifting moment for it as a whole, you know. So it's wild to watch.
I mean, I think payroll would fix some issues, right? Because you'd have a like guaranteed kind of scholarship, I guess. I don't know.
I want to get into business and kind of help a lot of these athletes that, and I'm not trying to represent them as an agent or talk football contracts or none of that, but a lot of things I've learned over the years by my social media platform, I just kind of want to help guide people down the right path, connect the dots, teach them my systems, handling money, uploading videos, like building your social media brand. Is there any type of advice or anything you could give me to kind of point me in the right direction? You've done your thing over here, so.
I mean, listen, I think that you have, there's two ways you can accomplish that. If you asked me, right, if you were like, how do I want to do this in my life, how would you suggest that I get this out of my system and make an impact in this way? A is just continuing to grow your own business, your own platform, your success story, and talking about it and letting your story be inspiring and be a model. And then number two is not doing it in a like business structure, but just be an open door. Like, I just I really wish I either had the gall to ask people when I was younger more, or, that more people were just like, what's good? Like, what can I help you with? Yeah. But I think it's great when you can share ideas, because the more you talk to younger people and give them advice, you're like on the low talking to yourself too. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
You're giving yourself like affirmation, and you're kind of like reminding yourself certain things you need to do, and you're giving that person game at the same time. So, I would find your space where you can let people come see you and just like soak in that information.
And I think it's there because I know some companies that are trying to do what you're doing, but they don't have you.
They don't. Yeah,
like you've
I've
done
lived
the
through
miles.
this shit. I've been through it. Even speaking on Travis Hunter, he's been killing it lately. I met him when he was back in high school doing his thing, and didn't really have a name to him. Obviously, super talented. I'd never take that away from him. But as he's grown up, I've kind of encouraged him, like, hey, bro, you got to get on social media more. I'm doing these videos about you. They're going viral. You're the freaking #1 player in the country. You could build more off of this.
Yeah.
Football doesn't last forever. Your body don't last forever. But if you build something, that's going to go a long way. And I bought the man a camera. Like, I kind of taught him how to do the YouTube thing. I talked to his editors and things like that. And now he's freaking killing it. Yeah. Again, I didn't do any of it. I kind of helped steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, but that's dope.
But that's what they need, because people don't know what it takes. Like, you just think, okay, do I set up a camera here? But what's been cool being around you is like just observing how you work. Like, I've met David, Sean, all the guys, and like, that's stuff that people that watch your content don't really see or don't really know. Is what's he doing? Like, how is he coming up with these ideas? But I've heard the phone calls and shit. So I think, all the infrastructure that you have put together just from your experience, I think that's going to be a lot more valuable than what are these companies.
And you also got to remember that, like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, your blueprint or this person's blueprint, like, it just so happens that Travis Hunter understood how to utilize YouTube, but.
Yeah, I got a lot of dudes hit me. Hey, bro, I'm trying to start a YouTube. Hey, I'm trying to start streaming. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know if it's for you. I don't know if you got the personality, but
you got to really be consistent. Yeah. We launched Kevin's YouTube channel in 2016. We were one of the biggest athlete YouTube channels, and it was like, and we have incredible relationships there. We were set to win, but he wasn't going to make videos every day. You know what I'm saying? So this is not him. So it was like that wasn't even actually one of the other inspirations to like start thinking about building our own platform. And what Boardroom was just because like I knew I needed to storytell, but like that wasn't what he wanted to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of like the Travis Hunters of the world and all these up and coming athletes, is there anybody that you're excited to see, whether it's college football, WNBA, anything like that? Anyone that's got you tuned in?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm locked in on this Aces Liberty semifinal.
We got
series.
money on it tonight.
I
might be the biggest WNBA fan.
Are you?
And it's new.
Who'd you take today? You took the Aces.
Always, always. And I know I'm just a big Asia fan. I think she's gonna get it done.
I'm a New York fan.
I know. I know.
I'm hype on Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, I know. Yeah.
LSU boy.
Yeah.
Bro.
Is it just a New York bias though?
Well,
you tell me, are you hype on Malik Neighbors?
He nice.
Yeah.
He nice.
So what you mean?
Nice.
That has
what do you think about the quarterback
nice.
situation up there in East Rutherford?
I like
DJ.
Listen, I like Danny Jones, right?
Yeah.
I really do. I think I'm disappointed we lost Dallas and Washington because we really played well and he played well. But we got to win games.
You got to win those games.
Got to win
by
games.
the way,
They're
NFC East games. You got to win now.
But he's skilled, man. He is. He's a great athlete. He's talented. But we'll see. I will tell you, though, I went to the Commanders-Cardinals game.
Oh, bruh. I was just about to say.
Jaden's a problem.
That's like my biggest sleeper. I met him at LSU.
Another LSU boy.
Yeah, I met him at LSU. We did a little tour at LSU together, and I remember walking into like the quarterback's room. They got big-ass Joe Burrow on the wall and a long-ass list of all his accomplishments. And like just kind of talking to him, picking his brain. He's a little timid, but he's like, man, just my goal is just to get my name on here at least.
Yeah.
Motherfucker went and won the Heisman.
Yeah.
High pick, and now he's balling with the Commanders. Bro, balling.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that him and Neighbors played together last year is crazy.
He was at ASU back in the days. I saw a video of when he transferred to LSU. All the people in the locker room was like, man, fuck this dude, fuck him.
Yeah, I saw that same video.
He went to LSU, turned up on their ass.
Yeah.
But like these freshman receivers are insane. Yeah. Alabama dude, Ohio State dude.
Yeah, oh, bro.
That Alabama kid, that to me is just as impressive as what Travis Hunter's doing, playing both ways. To be 17 years old, doing what he's doing, it's
crazy.
It's insane, I think.
But I'm really like, I think Malik Neighbors is just like incredibly special. I think
you never thought about working with any football guys? I don't know if you do right now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think about working with other athletes all the time, only because like we have so much connectivity with them to begin with. So like I do work with so many athletes via the platform. Like if we have someone on the cover of our magazine, or if we have a show with them, or they're at our event or our party, or we creating a moment with somebody, I find that to be like a working together. And I sit with a lot of athletes and talk to a lot of athletes and their teams, so I enjoy that process. But you know, I really am like focused on what we're building.
Yeah.
It would have to be like a scenario that was just someone was like, bro, I love what you guys do. I want to plug into what you guys are doing, and like, let's rock. And I'm sure that'll happen at some point, but you know, they've got to really love what we're building, because it's like, you know, Boardroom is weaved into everything we're doing now. That's what my eyes are set on, building this thing. So it's like, yes, if it works.
Mm-hmm. So you've worked with rappers, athletes. What's worse? Rapper time, athlete time?
I feel like athletes got discipline. We got to be on meetings on time.
You ain't been around certain athletes.
I mean, I was fortunate. Like, I mean, I guess time is, you know, the schedule in sports is firmer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I really had like great experiences. You know, when I was managing, I managed Meek for a while, Wale for a while. I worked with Solange Knowles. I worked with Mark Ronson. I A&R'd, you know, and I say that loosely. That was like my title. I wasn't really A&R in J. Cole's first album, but like I was in the studio with him and working closely with him, and still close with him to this day. Mark recorded Amy Winehouse's album in our studio, and that was
I love all that kind of shit. That's crazy. Wow.
Epic time. But like, I didn't necessarily ever have like bad experiences. Like I really was in the music business.
I'm
like,
sure you've heard of bad experiences.
No, for sure. Yeah. Like, you know, but bad experience was like someone's supposed to meet you at the studio at 8 p.m. They don't come till 2 a.m. But that's just what it was. It's just still in the studio. You're burning. You're chilling. It's like what it is. It's fine. But man, honestly, like if KD don't want to be somewhere on time, he won't go on time either. You know, it's like being really late is intentional.
Oh, God,
you want to be really late.
I feel like sometimes certain people do it just to do it.
Yeah, they
talk about the fashionably late shit.
But honestly, like I remember, I don't know if you guys ever heard of who this guy Leor Cohen. He's like a famous music executive. He was one of the first people at Def Jam with like Russell Simmons and Rick Rubin. And he told me a story like really early in like my music career when I went to play him demos or something. He's talking about like what being a star meant. And at the time when we met with him, Jay-Z was like just put out probably like, I'm trying to think, like Hard Knock Life, or it was, you know, Volume 2 was out. And he was like, when Jay-Z comes to this building, he says hello to the receptionist downstairs at like Park Plaza. He says hello to the second receptionist. He remembers the secretary's like sister has just got married. And that's how you end up becoming super successful. That's one part of it. And, you know, and I think that like if the ones that are late intentionally and don't show up, you usually they're going away. They're not going to see that, man. It's part of it. You got to be a professional.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've built up something amazing. You've worked with a lot of amazing people. Again, your history is long. What do you want your legacy to be at the end of the day when Rich Kleiman is not on this earth anymore? How do you want to be remembered? What do you want to be known as?
I just want to be remembered.
Yeah. Ooh, I boy dropped the mic on that one.
And honestly, I've thought about that because like that's what's scary about this world, bro.
Yeah.
Just passing by.
Yeah.
Everything just passes by, and everyone's not going to remember you. Like, you know, very few people are remembered by everybody. I'm not naive in that way. Nothing I'm doing will constitute that. But my community is big, you know what I'm saying? And like the people around me, it's a lot of people, and I'm in a world that, you know, I've got to know a lot of people, and I want like anyone that's, I guess, thereafter to just remember me and like have a drink and talk about some of the cool shit I did and some of the ways I impacted people's life, and like I want my kids to feel that way, and I want people to just think I did some really cool shit. You know what I'm saying?
What do you want for Boardroom? I know I asked for you personally, but what do you want for Boardroom?
I want it to sustain. You know, like that's my biggest goal. I would love to, like 30 years from now, maybe Condé Nast or big media NBC owns Boardroom, and I say, hey, yo, Brad, you know, I built that shit.
Yeah.
Boardroom, you know what I'm saying? That's mine.
Yeah.
That's really it. Because I think, like, I know exactly what it's supposed to mean. It's supposed to be, like, that the boardroom is inclusive now, that the boardroom is for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could be an artist, you could be a YouTuber, you could be a CEO, founder, you can be in politics, fashion, but where it all intersects and where everyone wants to be in the same room, those are the boardrooms that have the influence, and that's the business. So, you know, I hope it's just around.
I love it. Our last question, man. I know it's always an ongoing topic online. People saying on a stat sheet KD is 6'10" or whatever it may be, as opposed to 7 foot. The argument goes back and forth. How tall is he legitimately?
Yo, I honestly don't know. Because I don't know. I've never measured him. So like I can only go off of what I see. Like I see what is listed in the NBA, then I see how someone else listed, then I see someone listed and he looks taller than him. So I honestly don't even know.
I don't know how the listings work in the NBA, but I know for football, them
league,
things are bullshit.
yeah,
like you can make it kind of whatever you want. So
Yeah,
they had me at
honestly,
6'5" this year.
Swear to God, I don't know. I really don't know. I
remember
would
in high
imagine
school-
he's 6'10". I would imagine he's 6'10" and a half.
Yeah,
some
he the
shit
tallest
like
in the room, damn, every time.
I remember in high school I was 5'11", 180.
You still 5'11", 180.
Same. When I was like going to basketball camps recruited, I was 6'5". I was like, and I really forgot how tall I was from lying for so long.
Oh man, you and KD ever play 1-on-1?
No.
No, you don't hoop with him.
No, he's.
I want to hoop with him one day,
he's a
bro, just to
dick,
see.
though. Like one time, I remember one of the first times I met him. This is funny. I went to meet him at a Nike skills camp in DC, and I'm shooting. This is like 11 years ago. I'm shooting from the corner. I hit like 4 or 5 straight jumpers, right? So I'm hoping. I'm like, damn, is he see me, yo? Does he see me? And his Nike rep at the time, my boy Chuck, says, "Hey, yo, KD, Rich can really shoot it, man." And he goes, "That shit looks nasty." And I'm like, this motherfucker, I just said 5 in a row in the corner. And all he cares about is he thought the form was nasty. I'm like, this motherfucker. But and we had some basketball camps where we'd play racks and like go around 3-point line. I'm hitting shit. But like, I'm feeling myself and like, how is he supposed to look at it? Like he's just looking at it like he shoots, like whatever.
He can't even give you a little gas
I can
you up
play
a little
football
bit.
though, bro. I was actually hoping he was gonna. Yes, and I can kick field goals.
Nah, I don't believe
Yeah.
it. Everybody say that
nah,
shit, bro.
Dead ass. But I'm gonna tell you another quick funny story before we go. I kicked a 40-yard field goal about 9 years ago, and I was hyped. So I called KD and my other boy Charlie, and I'm like, yo, I kicked a 40-yard field goal. They're like, nah, you capping, bro. No way. Nah. And I'm like, bro, I'm telling you. So we keep this shit going for a while. We go to a UT game. So before the UT game, I'm like, man, they should let me kick a field goal before the game. So he's like, yeah, we could do that. So I'm like, all right, fuck, let's do it. So we tell the equipment manager, I'm like, let me kick a field goal before the game. But I'm talking like 2 hours before the game is what I want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess nobody's doing nothing about it. Like, all right, cool. No one's doing anything about it. It's about 2 minutes till the game starts.
Set
And
him up on the field. Come on.
They say, yo, hurry up. And they give me a tee. By myself, just give me a tee. I run out there. I shouldn't have run to a 40-yard field goal at that point. I should have just
you
went
should
for
warm
like
up,
a
back
chip
up a
shot.
little bit. Yeah.
I go up there. There's 100,000 people in this motherfucker. I have photo evidence to show you. Damn. I shanked this shit. Grounded it. I got so nervous. It looked crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm probably not kicking more now than a 30-yarder.
Okay, we got to take him to the field. He a good
You
holder.
know what I was thinking, bro?
35-yarder maybe now.
And a lot of people are going to hear this and be like, he's a fucking idiot for saying that. But I would love to see someone athletic like KD catch punts. Because catching punts is, in my opinion, one of the hardest skills in football.
Crazy.
Like I said, people are going to hear this and not think it, but like it's not just catching the ball. And I'm a left footer too, so the spin's all different.
totally different.
I've seen very good athletes struggle.
I'm sure.
It's fun.
We just talked about this because at the Cardinals game, because the dome was, roof was, no, it wasn't open.
Oh, it wasn't open?
Watching these punts, you don't realize how high that shit goes.
Things go, bro.
And like, it's all about how they move their hand, right, to get a certain spin and direct it. And some of the ones that you want, like, to have fair caught are like these rocket spirals, and the other ones are like ducks just flying in the air.
Banana ball.
And then you got people coming at you. I'm sure it's tough as hell, but I really I could throw the ball.
We got to get him to a field, bro.
My hands are
official, certified. GIA certified.
I'll let you go. Like, you could probably throw the rock a little bit, right?
Oh no, I'm like that. I'm like
I'll probably
I'm
throw
like
better.
that. Nah, hell no.
You could throw better.
Hell
better,
nah.
yeah,
I could bet my whole
Next
life
time I'm
on
out
that.
here, let's play a little football, bro.
We should, bro.
bet.
We
That's a
should.
bet.
Okay, we're gonna
I'll
get
bring
Rich
the
on the
cleats.
field, y'all boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
See if he can catch, punts, and throw.
Oh man. Hey man, Rich.
If I can. See how he does it.
We got how's KD? He nice? He play
He got
football
a
too or
good
not?
arm, too. He got a good arm.
I think have I seen him in some flag clips?
Yeah,
doing
he-
fucking
They
around?
had the
Him and LeBron.
NBA
And then
boys
when
doing
he be
shit.
going to the Cowboy games too, that be having him throwing on the field and shit before.
I've seen like
Commander
LeBron
game.
and them
Fuck
boys.
no,
doing
yeah,
shit.
No Cowboy fans
No
here, bro.
Cowboy.
Cowboys.
That
Hey
was
man, it's
LeBron
been a
the
pleasure
Cowboy.
having you, bro.
You too, brother.
It's been love. Good to finally see you.
Thank
We
you,
in the
Rich.
same
Appreciate you
place
coming in,
at the
man.
same
Sir, I
time.
made it, man. I made
You
it.
made it. Y'all clap it up for him. Y'all, that wraps it up. Thank you, Rich. Kicking It drops every Thursday. Make sure y'all watch and subscribe to the Kicking It YouTube channel. Kicking It with Deestroying. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Listen and subscribe wherever y'all get y'all podcasts at. And remember, Kicking It is presented by Sleeper, the fantasy sports and real money app bringing people together through sports. My dog is an investor. I need to get in next. You feel me? We're produced by Rain Delay Media. Thank you to them. Thank you to Sleeper, our producers, editors, Booker, everybody involved. Follow us on the socials. Kicking It with D. No G. It's just straight Kicking It. And we going to see y'all next Thursday, man. We
Next
might be on
week.
the field with that boy Rich next time. So
Tune
tune in. Appreciate y'all, man.